Section 1 of The Pagan Madonna by Harold MacGrath. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information, or to find out how you can volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Don W. Jenkins. The Pagan Madonna by Harold MacGrath. Chapter 1. Humdrum isn't where you live, it's what you are. Perhaps you are one of those whose lives are bound by neighborly interests. Imaginatively, you never seek what lies under a gorgeous sunset. You are never stirred by any longing to investigate the ends of rainbows. You are more concerned by what your neighbor does every day than by what he might do if he were suddenly spun, whirled, jolted out of his pokey orbit. The blank door of an empty house never intrigues you. You enter blind alleys without thrilling in the least. You hear a cry in the night and impute it to some marauding Tom. Lord, what a life! And yet every move you make is governed by chance, the blind Madonna of the pagan, as that great adventurer Stevenson called it. You never stop to consider that it is only by chance that you leave home and arrive at the office alive. Millions and millions of you, poor old stick-in-the-muds. Because this or that hasn't happened to you, you can't be made to believe that it might have happened to someone else. What's a wood fire to you but a shin-warmer? And how you hate to walk alone. So sheer off. This is not for you. But to you, fenced in by circumstance, walls of breathless brick and stone, suffocating with longing, you, whose thought springs ever toward the gorgeous sunset and the ends of rainbows, who fly in dreams across the golden South Seas to the far countries, you whose imagination transforms every ratty old square rigger that pokes down the bay into a Spanish galleon, come with me. For to admire and for to see, for to behold this world so wide. First off, Ling Foo of Wusung Road, perhaps the most bewildered Chinaman in all Shanghai last April. The blind Madonna flung him into a great game and immediately cast him out of it, giving him never an inkling of what the game was about and leaving him buffeted by the four winds of wonder. A drama, he was sure of that, had rolled up, touched him icily, if slightly, and receded, like a wave on the beach, without his knowing in the least what had energized it in his direction. During lulls, for years to come, Ling Foo's consciousness would strive to press behind the wall for a key to the riddle. For years to come he would be searching the International Bund, Nanking Road, Broadway, and bubbling well roads for the young woman with the wonderful ruddy hair and the man who walked with the slewing lurch. Ah, but that man! The face of him, beautiful as that of a foreign boy's, now young, now old, as though a cobweb shifted to and fro across it. The fire in those dark eyes and the silk in that tongue. Always that face would haunt him, because it should not have been a man's, but a woman's. Ling Foo could not go to his gods for comparisons, for a million variations of Buddha offered no such countenance, so his recollection would always be tinged with a restless sense of dissatisfaction. There were other faces in the picture, but with the exception of the woman's and the man's, he could not reassemble the features of any. A wild and bitter night. The nor'easter, packed with a cold, penetrating wind, beat down from the yellow sea, its insensate fury clearing the highways of all save belated laborers and rickshaw boys. Along the Chinese Bund, the sampans huddled even more closely together and rocked and creaked and complained. The inscrutable countenance of the average Chinaman is the result of 5,000 years of misery. It was a night for hand-warmers, little jigsawed brass receptacles filled with smoldering punk or charcoal, which you carried in your sleeves and hugged if you happened to be a Chinaman, as Ling Foo was. He was a merchant. He sold furs, curios, table linen, embroideries. His shop was out on the Wusung Road. He did not sit on his stool or in his alcove and wait for customers. He made packs of his merchandise and canvassed the hotels in the morning, from floor to floor, from room to room. His curios, however, he left in the shop. That was his lure to bring his hotel customers round in the afternoon, when there were generally additional profits and no commissions.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?